the Sports Betting Network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Thursday morning to you. It's a numbers game. VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV. Ever you taking us in, we appreciate it. It's Gil Alexander. It's Kelly Bidlin, and I started out by getting the day right.
Yeah, you did.
Not like yesterday, where I called it Monday.
I kind of chuckled because there was a slight hesitation there. I don't know if he was making sure or not. Double check real quick. Yep, Thursday.
We've gotten to that point where I'm like, okay, what day is it?
2025.
Yeah, what year is it? You know what Thursdays mean here. Zach and Crack. Zach Cohen, VSiN senior editor, going to talk NFL with us, going to talk NBA. How about some Australian Open? Tennis with Zach as well. All of his plays, by the way, at VSiN.com/picks for subscribers as well. Jordan Sherwood, how about some UFC 311? Big card. A couple of the main and the co-main are really good. Mm-hmm. Not so much in the betting market, but there is intrigue, and I'm curious how Jordan is going to bet these. So we'll talk to him about that coming up. A first look. This is not the annual season wins segment that I do in baseball, where we do very well. Last year, the Padres over was our number one. The year before was the Rangers over. They ended up winning the World Series. Padres get to the playoffs last year. But this is just the first glance at MVP and Cy Young, because FanDuel has seen fit to put it up there.
DraftKings up as well.
And DraftKings now as well. And so
they matched them.
We'll take a gander.
Yeah, we were talking. I mean, Jason brought up Skeens yesterday. That was opened 3-1. You guys were talking about how short it was already, and it got bet down to plus 240 while we were on the air.
You can't bet that at that. Can we restart the segment? You can't bet that at that price. As great as he is, so many things can happen. Anyway, I'll get to my thoughts on that. And, of course, the other part of the Zach and Crack team, hour number 2, unscripted with the Crack Man, Bill Krackenberger. Of course, looking forward to that very sort of free-flowing conversation with Bill. Whatever's on Billy's mind, that's what we go to. Let us begin yesterday, the first poor day at the Australian Open for me. 0-2. Is that allowed at any point in the tournament?
Yeah, it's allowed.
0-2. Lost both in the full 3 sets on the ladies' side. Katie Bolter loses as a favorite to Veronika Kudermetova. And then I took a shot on the Australian Desiree Ayava against Danielle freaking Collins, and she lost as a big dog in 3 sets. And Danielle Collins, just as lovely as ever in the post-match news conference, a little presser there at the end, just making no friends whatsoever with the Australian
I didn't see she's
crowd.
Getting feisty again.
Yeah, because I don't know. I guess they were cheering on the Australian player. How dare they at some point?
Oh, man, wow.
And so afterwards, she's like, well, you just counting the paycheck or whatever she said. Something about her making money off it. Drew actually called it. She's just there for the paycheck. But she literally voiced it to the crowd. And that was, you can imagine, they enjoyed that.
Wow. Yeah, that's something.
As Ayava's story is like she came from nowhere, had nothing, and then Danielle Collins is crowing about all the money she's making beating her. Anyway.
We got what? I've been watching this one. I don't even know how you say this guy's name. Lerner
Tien.
Tien? He's got Medvedev on the ropes right now.
Well, he was up 2 sets.
Yeah.
Lerner Tien.
Fifth set right now.
Who, again, I was I mentioned when the Challenger Tour was here in Vegas.
Oh, this is that guy?
I was live betting Lerner Tien. He's a really good young player, but, I mean, still, north of a $4 dog against Daniil Medvedev, one of the top 5 players in the world, and he went up 2 sets on him and got to a 3rd set tiebreaker. Someone will have to tell me if there was a match point involved. I didn't watch it that closely this morning, but Medvedev escapes with a 10-8 win in the tiebreaker in the 3rd set to prolong the match. Then he wins the 4th set, and now it's on serve in the 5th, 3-2 Tien. Can I do something different?
Oh, okay.
Can I do something different
I was waiting to catch the score out there.
Yeah, there's a computer in front of you. I don't know if you're aware of what this thing can do.
I know it's on one of the TVs, but when you're you turn on a game at home and you're like, okay, let me check out the score of this game quick, and then I'm going to move on. And then they're hanging on some promotional graphic or something.
Right.
You're like, drop that. I'm just trying to see the score quick.
I love that you feel so comfortable on this show that you're just you'll stare back at the big screen like we're not doing something.
Gil. Yeah.
So so far in the Australian Open, I had mentioned, because the way that the time zones are, that I'm giving out the picks at VSiN.com/picks for subscribers. But now that we're heading into the third round, there's far fewer matches to deal with. So I was actually able to handicap last night. Can I give a couple picks away here on the actual program?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do that. Do we want the intro or not? After you go 0-2, I don't think you need the intro.
Okay.
Yeah, the country club and intro, probably not. I am on 2 plays today, one on the ladies' side, one on the men's side. On the ladies' side, it is a underdog, Laura Siegemund. Laura Siegemund, spelled Laura. Siegemund. She's.
I think the audience can handle that.
I think so. It's plus 144 for Laura Siegemund against Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. Should have had you try to pronounce that. It's actually Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. So Siegemund is the play at plus 144. She is the young lady who took down Zhang Xinwen, the biggest upset on the ladies' side so far. She did that in round 2. She's a really annoying player to play. One of these players that you just can't beat straightforward. She's always messing with her shot. She's like the Todd Wishnev of the ladies tour. You just have not in that way.
I'm sure she's
not
been
in that
called
way.
that
Just in terms of all the different spins and stuff she does. Laura Siegemund at plus 144 is the play on the ladies' side. And then on the men's side, it's a total. It is Artur Fils and Ugo Humbert, pardon me. 2 Frenchmen playing each other. I'm taking the over 40 games at minus 114. Fils and Humbert, it's like little brother, it's like younger brother, older brother kind of thing. 2 French players. They always play tight, long matches. And so I expect this to be the same. Fils, spelled F-I-L-S, Humbert, spelled Humbert.
Oh, yeah, Humbert.
For the American audience, over 40 games. So Siegemund on the ladies' side is a dog against Pavlyuchenkova, and Fils Humbert over 40 games. Those are your 2 Australian Open picks from Melbourne.
So Ugo and Arthur are like they're like the Wembanyama Gobert of tennis, huh?
That's kind of, I guess, sure. That's what they are. By the way, does ESPN have to send an alert on my phone that Ja posterized Wemby on a play that doesn't count? Do we really need that as an alert?
After I brought up Wemby Gobert, I was hoping you were going to go there because it was one of the greatest dunks I've ever seen.
Oh, maybe I should look at it then.
Oh, yeah, you didn't see it?
No, I refuse to look because I'm like, it didn't count.
Hey, what's funny is
why do people care about this if it didn't count?
I saw the same thing you did first, where it was like, and good job by the notification. Like, I don't even know where I saw mine. I don't even know if it was ESPN, but I did see in the notification it was like after the whistle, and I was like, that's a weird thing to include. And then I watched the video, and it was like, oh yeah, like the play's dead.
Well, maybe I should watch it.
But then, like, Ja doesn't slow down. Like, it's a whistle outside. Ja doesn't slow down, and Wemby's like, I'm going to go up there and make a play at the rim, and Ja throws it down over him. It was a sick dunk. Poor Wemby, though, because everybody in the NBA for the next 15 years is going to be hunting moments like this.
But this is the thing. Like, there used to be a time. I'm old enough to remember, Kelly, like 3 months ago.
Back in my day.
I'm old enough to remember when you got a breaking report on your phone, it was like, oh my God, there's a breaking report. What's happening?
Yeah.
Did someone die? Did an NFL game break out on a Thursday morning? Like, what happened?
This is just as big, Gil. Wemby got dunked on, man. I'm also old enough to remember when Ja Morant told us all 2 months ago, or whatever it was, that he wasn't going to dunk anymore because of his health.
Sure. Yeah, now
and then after a whistle, think about that. After a whistle, a play doesn't count, and he goes up and throws one down.
How do you deal with this league? Wasn't there a game last night where the Brooklyn Nets got beat like by 100 points last night?
The Brooklyn Nets scored 67 points last night. Yep.
Yeah. 67 points.
They
lose. They lose, by the way, in scoring 67 points to the Clippers. What was the final score in this?
Yeah, Clippers covered.
Yeah.
It is 126 to 67 was your final. I like doing the whole quarter thing.
That's a 63-point win, if I'm not mistaken, in my head. 63, yes? 127, 63, yeah. What'd you say? Yeah.
126-67.
Yeah. 63-point win.
So first quarter, end of first quarter, 21-21. Tight game.
Yeah.
Nets only score 14 in the second. Okay, it's got to get better after halftime, right, Gil?
Yeah.
Well, 16 in the third.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can't go out like that, right? 16 in the fourth.
Okay, so those are the tennis plays. Again, I'm only doing the country clubbing when we're coming off a good night, so I think it's inappropriate to go country clubbing if we came off a bad night. NFL plays, just to sort of recap before we get into the guests here on a Thursday with the Crack Man. I'm on the Rams, +6 against the Eagles. I'm on the Ravens against the Bills. I've talked about this before. I've stayed away from the other 2 games. I believe the Rams are that sneaky team where they are, again, the profile of them with the Hall of Fame quarterback, good running game, great pass rush. I just think if you're giving me 6 points, I know they're going to cold weather. I know they've got problems back at home with the wildfires and the fallout from that. I am sympathetic. But from our gambling little corner of the world, I will take the 6 points. I was very surprised by that spread. And I believe the Ravens are the best team in football. So, again, I guess them to be the favorite on Monday morning. The Bills were at that time. It has come towards me. I am on the Ravens in this one.
I like that I'm just realizing that you've bet the Sunday games and I haven't, and I bet the Saturday games and you haven't. That's kind of interesting.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I'm on that. All I've got so far is that Chiefs-Lions teaser. I will be on the Bills at some point, but I'm probably it's going to be small. It's going to be a small bet. I mean, that's going to be a great game. I think it's everything it's going to be everything we're expecting. Eagles-Rams. Man, I'm surprised this line. Like I thought I was going to be on the Eagles. I just thought it was going to be under 6, and now we're seeing 6. There's a 6.5 out there at FanDuel.
Yeah, there was a 6.5 that
like,
crept up early in the week too.
Yeah, it looks like it's only going more towards the Eagles' way. And I just after that performance last week, and I don't know, I can't get there with laying 6, even though I think they take care of business.
We'll find out what Zach has to say about what his plays are on NFL divisional round here right after the break. I will say this as we go to break. The single most surprising thing to me on this show, I don't know what else is out there in the universe, but on this show with our guest this week, the more than one person support for the Texans plus the points.
Yeah.
Drew Dinsick, very adamant about that. He's on the Megapod this week talking about that. Jonathan Von Tobel as well. We'll find out what Zach Cohen, our VSiN senior editor, part of the glue that holds this whole operation, has to say about divisional round and tennis and the NBA. That's next. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big. We go all night. And here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's Late Night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
On the next Money Moves, Matt Brown joins me, Stormy Buonantony, to break down each of the divisional round games, including the battle in Buffalo between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Doug Kazarian of OnlyPlayers.com will join us to get his take on the NFL postseason. And it might be cold outside, but that's not stopping us from going streaking and finding all the best streaks to fade or follow heading into this packed playoff weekend. We're diving into all the biggest games and breaking down the latest news from across the sports world, starting at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, right here on VSiN.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Ready to take your tailgate to a whole nother level? You got to try Sewell's Barbecue. Born from a backyard cookout in a mason jar of unforgettable flavors, Sewell's has become a southern favorite, delighting taste buds from Georgia to the Carolinas. From smoky ribs and mouth-watering wings to the perfect backyard burger, Sewell's turns every bite into a flavor-packed experience. Order now at SewellsBarbecueSauce.com. That's SEWELLS BBQ Sauce.com. Flavor this good is just a click away. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidley, everybody, live from Circa. Before we get to Zach Cohen, can I ask you, because you're the golf guy, Kelly, Live Golf has its network deal. Fox Sports and Live Golf have come together. This was what many people said about Live, right? They just, until they get a major network deal, it's all kind of fun and games. Well, now they got one. Fox and Live announcing a multi-year media rights agreement that will deliver live coverage of Live Golf competition to viewers throughout the U.S. beginning this February with the start of Live Golf's third official league season. How about that?
Yeah, it's I'm intrigued by it. I don't know how this changes things with the PGA merger, if it does at all. I would think it probably does. We've been hearing about this merger for way too long that they think is going to occur, and they've been working on it for, I don't even know how long it's been now, a year and a half. I think it's probably a sign that that's not going very well if Liv goes and signs a multi-year deal, those are the big words to me, Gil. Multi-year deal with Fox to broadcast Liv. And Liv also getting paid a rights fee where they were doing revenue sharing before with the CW. So this is them getting paid for the rights to Fox. It's a pretty big deal, and I think for a lot of people, if you were golf fans out there that just Liv never really caught on for you like me because it was hard to find to even watch.
Will you watch it now?
Probably, a little bit more, for sure, a little bit more, because it will be more accessible.
Yeah. It was on the CW before? You sure it wasn't on UPN or the WWWWB? No?
I did screw that up once upon a time. But yeah, CW and, on YouTube, right? They were always streaming it?
Yeah, I think I watched one swing of a golf club when they were on CW.
I have consumed less than 3 hours of Live Golf, probably. Yeah, that's probably not fair.
All right. Well, that's the latest on the golf landscape. Let's talk some football, some basketball, some tennis with Zach Cohen, everybody. You can follow him on Twitter at BettingOnX. Again, part of the whole glue that holds this whole operation together. Senior editor here at VSiN. How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Good. How's your Australian Open going?
It's good. I'm a little tired this morning. I watched the entire Holger Rune Mateo Berrettini match last night. Then I caught a little bit of my Destiny Iava against Danielle Collins match, and I woke up for Danielle Collins' post-match promo, which was unbelievable.
She's a darling, isn't she?
I gotta look
She's
this up.
so good.
Oh, God. Why? What, does she enjoy being the villain? Is that the whole thing? Good God.
She seems to enjoy it. Yeah, for more or less, she said that she enjoys having people in the crowd hating her because they are paying money directly to the Danielle Collins Fund.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. There you go.
What a quote.
There you go. Were you on Iava? I didn't realize you were on Iava as well.
I had Iava plus 1.5 sets.
Oh, so you were a winner. Okay, good for you. Good for you. I took it straight on the money line. What do you have today in the Australian Open that you're willing to share?
So I have Tomas Makac over 16.5 games won, and I also sprinkled the money line at north of plus 300. I think that there's a real good shot that he actually ends up beating Novak. And this is a match that, before the draw, I thought Novak had a chance of winning this thing. But when I saw the draw, I thought it was really difficult for him. And I definitely, highlighted this match as one that I think could be particularly troublesome. Makac is a very talented player. Last year on the Asian Swing, he beat Carlos, then went to the final and almost beat Sinner in Shanghai. This is just a guy that has a lot of firepower from the baseline. He has had some issues in his career with fitness and cramping up, but apparently has been working very hard on that. If he is able to avoid that against Novak, I think that there's a real shot he wins. Novak has dropped a set in his first 2 matches in Australia. I think he's struggling with just hitting winners. It looks like everything is just coming back really slow. Makac is not going to have that trouble.
Yeah, and if you watch the Djokovic win over Faria in round 2, though Djokovic won in 4, there was a stretch in that match where he got into the bitchy moany mode that he gets into when he starts to feel pressure. By the way, that's Mahach, spelled for the phonetic American audience, Mashak, Machac, or just the guy that's playing Djokovic. You probably remember it that way. Anything else in tennis?
Yeah, so I also took Jacob Fernley to win a set against Zverev, and this is just one where Zverev's won his matches very easily so far, but I've been watching him and I have not been all that impressed. Meanwhile, Fernley is just like quietly a top 50 player in the world that just kind of plays the game the right way, has a really solid all-around style. He can serve, he can play the baseline. I just think that if Zverev is off with that forehand at all, there's going to be an opening for Fernley to win a set. So I ended up taking him to win one at plus 100. It's a match that I think Zverev will win, but I just think it's going to be a little closer than his first two.
Okay. For all of Zach's plays in the Australian Open and all his tennis plays, VSiN.com/picks for subscribers. Why do I always want to say survivors now? For subscribers at VSiN.com/picks, not only for the Australian Open, but every tournament of the year. We're pretty much betting it, I won't say 365 days a year, but from the Australian Open to the end of the U.S. Open, it's almost every day of the entire year. Okay, let's move to the NBA. Did ESPN also alert your phone this morning that Ja Morant made a great dunk that didn't count?
I've seen this dunk a million times. I don't get why it's going around. I mean, it was awesome, but it did not count. I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it. What do you have in the NBA tonight?
I have the Kings minus 3.5 against the Rockets. It's the second night of a back-to-back for Houston. They did blow out Denver, so I'm not sure the fatigue will be as big of a factor as it usually is, but the Kings have just looked really good under Doug Christie. I'll eat some crow at that because I thought that, firing Mike Brown was going to be a bad decision, but since that move, they are 7-2, fifth in the league in defensive rating, and offensively, they have looked about as good as they did a few years ago when they were one of the surprising darlings in the West. So this is a game that they're going to win and cover, and I'm really intrigued by watching this team moving forward because it looks like they're a team that might be looking to make some deals.
Anything else in the association tonight?
Yeah, I think I'm going to play the Wizards plus 11.5 against the Suns. Don't like going against my own team, but man, I've not seen them blow anybody out all season. And this Wizards team, they at least have some size, and the Suns had to go out and trade, multiple second-round picks for Nick Richards, who is not a very good player because they cannot rebound.
Anyway, as a public service, once again, whenever we talk NBA, I just want to let everybody know that the Cleveland Cavaliers are 34-5. And if this was LeBron, we'd never hear the end of it. Nobody.
You already aren't hearing the end of it.
What? You say it again?
He took some credit for the Cavaliers being good yesterday because of course he did.
Oh no!
So
what did he say?
They asked him about the Cavaliers' success, and he talked about how good the team is, and he said he was happy to put on first.
He and Daniel Collins friends by any chance? Two of them. Curious. Let's go to the divisional round of the National Football League. This is the weekend where we separate the men from the boys, as they used to say. What do you have on Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, so I'll have NFL best bets up a little bit later today, but so far I'm on the Bills. I just think that these teams are a little bit more even than the public is thinking. I know that the odds obviously say they are very even, but I think that there's a little bit of an overreaction to that loss in Baltimore earlier in the season when the Bills were playing on a short week and playing in a very difficult road environment. I think now you look at this game and it's Baltimore that has to deal with the Buffalo being at home, and Josh Allen is an unbelievable home quarterback. Lamar Jackson is a little less proven on the road, especially in the postseason. I just think that this is going to be a close game where I think I'd rather have the home team.
Do you believe the winner of this game wins the Super Bowl?
I think that if the Bills win, they are going to win the Super Bowl. I'd have to think a little bit more about the Ravens Chiefs, but
wow.
Yeah, but I do think that if we see Bills Chiefs again, Buffalo will get them. I just feel like those games have all been so close. For it to go Kansas City's way again, I'd be a little surprised.
Who's the representative out of the NFC, in your opinion?
Man, I'm really torn on that. I guess I'd say the Lions still.
Yeah.
I thought that defense was going to fall apart down the stretch, but Aaron Glenn did a really good job. Now they're starting to get some bodies back. I think this game this weekend against the Commanders could be pretty close. I was actually looking into teasing with Washington getting the points, but I think the Lions will end up pulling it out, and I would like them in the NFC Championship.
That's how I see it. Even as a Washington guy, I feel like it won't be a blowout. I feel like Washington comports themselves well, but still lose to a better Detroit Lions team, let's face it, all around. Okay. That's it. So the rest of it at VSiN.com, the rest of your NFL plays?
Yep, I'll have NFL plays later. I'll have NBA plays up in about an hour, and tennis plays. I have some WTA on the website as well, and I'll probably add some more stuff by the time the card starts.
Any thoughts on the college football national championship? Because we won't get a chance to talk to you between now and then.
Yeah, so I haven't put anything in yet. I'm leaning Notre Dame just because I do think that defense is really legit, and I think it's a lot of points. It's another one like that Lions game. I'd be really surprised if Ohio State actually loses, but winning by more than 8 is a different question. I think that the Fighting Irish have a really good secondary. There's a chance that Howard struggles as a passer. I just don't trust Notre Dame to score enough points to win the game.
Okay. Zach Cohen, 4 different sports. Well, 3 if you count college and pro football as well. Thank you, sir. Betting on X is where you can find Zach. And again, all of his thoughts in articles and all of his plays at VSiN.com/picks. Follow him at Betting on X on Twitter. We'll come back, a glance at MLB awards that are already out there in the betting markets. And then Jordan Sherwood on UFC 311. Crack to come as well. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network.
They're off.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
We're getting ready for Big Game 59 with a big deal to match. Save $59 off a VSiN Pro annual subscription when you sign up using promo code ANG. Become a VSiN Pro annual subscriber. Bet smarter all year long with full access to our daily best bets to help you cash more tickets. Exclusive betting splits from DraftKings and Circa. 24/7 video access to tune in anywhere on the VSiN Watch app. Plus all our betting guides and expert picks for the Super Bowl and upcoming March Madness. Don't miss out on this big game deal. Visit VSiN.com/subscribe. Use promo code ANG.
ANG is an A-numbers game.
To save $59 off a VSiN Pro annual subscription today. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. I haven't even looked at tweets yet. What am I doing?
Well, we got them.
We got them.
We get them and we got them.
I don't know. Should I read them? Because I haven't looked at them. They could be. I have no idea what I'm looking at.
I like whenever you ask me this question.
Should I Ron Burgundy through them all? Well, let's find out what happens. Let's actually save the tweets for the next segment because I want to say this. Tomorrow, we are starting as a network 24/7 on Sirius Channel 158. 24/7 VSiN with its long-awaited return to Sirius XM Channel 158. And we'll have all our great guests here on the numbers game. I don't know, maybe we'll even add some great guests tomorrow, just for the celebration of it. But I am going to be, before I do a numbers game tomorrow, do you know what I'm going to be on, Kelly?
Where are you going, Gil?
I am going to be on Sway in the morning. Sway's Shade 45 channel on Sirius XM. Sway's awesome. Universe.
That is fantastic.
What are the chances of me going Kanye on him and be like, you ain't got all the answers, Sway? Kanye's famous line on him. Sway and I used to work together at KML in San Francisco. So as part of our promoting our channel 158, I'm going to go on that show and promote it to an audience that probably may not be aware of us, let's say.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
What time is this at?
That's a great question. It's in the hour. All I know is that it's in the hour before we're on. So in the 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific hour. And so Steve Cohen was saying to me, so I said to him, I said to Steve Cohen, I said, should I be expecting a call? And he said, well, his producer, Torch, probably will have you call him. So I was like, okay, his producer, Torch, I will call Torch. Be like, put me on with Sway. You ain't got all the answers, Sway. Kanye's famous
I can't wait. I will be listening intently to that.
Oh, yeah. Sway was also when I, by the way, Kelly story. When I popped the first one, Sway was the first one over me because we were both playing on the KML Jammers basketball team.
Are you serious?
He was the guy who goes, because I was like, I got fouled. He goes, no one touched you.
I hope you're bringing up that story. I hope you're bringing up that story.
Oh, I probably should.
Yeah, you should. You absolutely should.
Baseball. We've gotten a few tweets about baseball.
Sway, remember when? No.
Sway's going to be like, what's your name again? No, that dude remembers.
You don't remember my multiple Achilles stories?
He does. He's not aware of the second one. Maybe I'll bring that up.
You can bring it up.
Hey, I had another one. Let's talk baseball because we've gotten a few tweets from folks who are like, hey, baseball's only X amount of days away. And sure enough, pitchers and catchers right around the corner. So FanDuel put these out. DraftKings has them up as well. These are MLB awards for the 2025 season. And yes, we will on this show for sure be betting monthly season, monthly wins, not monthly season wins, monthly wins, which we did every month last year. Cashed on the Astros in June. Barely missed on the Guardians at 65-1 in March, April. We'll do that. But this is awards. First gander at these. Aaron Judge is your short shot for American League MVP, 3-1. Bobby Witt Jr. of the KC Royals plus 450. Remember, he was the clear number 2 this past year. And I hate it. And there's everybody else, by the way, starting with Yordan Alvarez. Mike Trout, 16-1, 3-time MVP. Mike Trout is there at 16-1. Problem with Mike Trout is you just don't know if he's going to play a full season. I mean, he's kind of that guy now.
And then what? Team success, too, I guess, would be a bigger concern this year?
Yeah.
The Angels are never good.
That never prevented Trout from winning it before. So there's our guy, Corey Seager, also at 16-1. My take on the American League MVP is not going to be a wild one. It is simply exactly what I said mid-season or, at some point last year, which is, remember the Royals, speaking of those monthly win totals bets, after we won on the Astros at 17-1 and 25-1 in June, we had the Royals in July. Didn't get there. But Bobby Witt Jr., watching him every night, and I remember saying this on air, like, he is spectacular. Like, if he doesn't get on base, you're more surprised.
Wasn't it like a month straight where he bat over 500?
Incredible. I remember at one point, there was it was some cartoon stat for a long stretch. And what did I say on this show? And I still can't recommend to you to bet him for MVP because Aaron Judge plays for the Yankees. And as long as Aaron Judge is hitting home runs, poor Bobby Witt Jr. has no shot at this. Certainly at plus 450, I wouldn't recommend it either. So I don't think there's a bet here, just at a glance here. And I think Aaron Judge, is there a Yankees bias? If a guy in pinstripes hits 50-plus home runs, and by the way, I think Aaron Judge's home run over-under is 51.5 heading into this year, you just can't make another recommendation in good faith. You can't. Let's go to Nat. I don't believe you can.
Great bet for me last year on the under 42.5, I believe his home runs were set at, because remember in spring training he was complaining about all the injuries.
We talked about his toe.
Yeah.
Because nobody making a big deal about his toe. Apparently not.
God, I thought that was a great bet at the time. I'm like, the guy's telling you he's not going to be able to play during the season.
Kelly has a history of shoulder's fine.
My baseball bets are
one of the first
quite something.
One of the first primetime actions, Cody Bellinger had a shoulder issue, so Kelly bet an under in one of the World Series games, and he took one swing and parked it over the right field fence on air. Kelly's like, shoulder's fine.
Will and I did the same thing with Shohei this time around.
Speaking of Will was the guy who came on this show, middle of May, and said Aaron Judge 16-1, take it. Remember those 16-1s? Yeah, those don't exist. Now, National League MVP, Shohei is your short shot at 2-1, plus 200. I got to tell you, this is just different. To me, this is a bet. And I know it's only 2-1, and I know that's not very sexy, but I don't know if you know this about Shohei Ohtani. Doesn't only swing the bat, also pitches this year. And if he is as good as we remember him doing that, I don't know how you can vote for anybody else. Like, if he has another season where he's spectacular at the plate, otherworldly at the plate, fitty kind of guy, and then he's like a above-average pitcher, let alone a great one, how do you not give it to him? It would take something superstar-like from somebody else off the charts to beat that. So to me, you may never see a better price than this.
That's all I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm going to join you this year. I'm not missing out on it this time, and I'm a little surprised it's this long, actually.
Will actually asked Felica and me what I thought the Shohei opener would be. I thought it would be short minus money. I did.
I was just going to say, I would have guessed even money, something like that, just before the season.
Let's go to Cy Young.
I mean, is there any expectations of him being limited pitching-wise or anything coming back this year? Or is he just supposed to be a full go?
I believe he's a full go.
Okay. I haven't heard anything otherwise either, so all right.
Well, when we get to National Cy Young, I'll tell you about someone who's not a full go, who I think I might make a bet on. American League Cy Young, Tarek Skubal is your defending Cy Young pitcher, 4-1. Then you got Garrett Crochet at 6-1, Cole Reagans at 9-1. Jacob deGrom. If you believe Jacob deGrom can be healthy, maybe you are interested in a little Jacob deGrom at 11-1. I can't. Too much of an injury risk. Garrett Cole, former Cy Young Award winner, 16-1. I don't think there's a bet for me here. Skubal at 4-1 is not long enough at this point.
Yeah.
It's not a Shohei situation, so there's no bet for me here. But if we go to National League Cy Young, I can be talked into. You talk about, so Paul Skeens is 3-1. I agree with what Jason Weingarten said yesterday. We all love Paul Skeens. We all think he's great. But 3-1, I'm not making that bet.
I mean, those are mammoth expectations for a year too, right?
For less than a year. Right.
Yeah.
So I can't in good conscience do it. Now, can he become the greatest pitcher and easily win it? Sure, but it's not a bet for me. Defending National League Cy Young champ Chris Sale is 8-1. Two-time Cy Young champ, Cy Young Award winner, I should say, not a Cy Young champ. What's that? Blake Snell's 10-1. Spencer Strider is who I'm looking at 22-1. Now, Spencer Strider's coming off the old UCL surgery. He won't be back in a Braves uniform till June, beginning of June. So it's not going to be late. It's supposed to be early June. It's not supposed to be late June. So if that's the case, you're talking about missing 2 months. You're talking about missing 1/3 of the regular season. Here's the thing. When we tend to view that from the beginning of a season, we tend to think, oh, wow, he's going to miss 1/3 of the season. You can't possibly in good conscience bet on that. I disagree. There have been so many times where players come out of nowhere and they, players who have been playing turn it around late in the season. And I'm talking about after July even. So I don't view that as, obviously it's a detriment to some degree, but I don't view it as the large detriment that others do. So Spencer Strider, who, again, when last we saw Spencer Strider pitch a baseball, he's pretty darn good at it. 22-1, I could actually be talked into that.
You wouldn't wait, though, till the season starts if he's going to miss time? I mean, this number's probably not getting shorter, right? It's probably only remaining there getting longer.
I don't know. I mean, everybody knows he's not playing, right? And he's 22-1 right now. It would. I mean, yes, if Skeens went ballistic, he would get longer, and then you might not want to bet it at all. But I'm saying if that doesn't happen, right, there's two ways to look at it. The train may leave the station, but the train may also be parked, and you'll never see the 22-1 that favorable either. So, anyway, first glance, first thoughts. Shohei, Strider, yeah, I could be talked into that. But not on the American League side, neither. We'll come back. UFC 311. These will be some interesting bets. Good night on Saturday. Jordan Sherwood next.
Got a good thing coming. Just wait and see. It's a good.
You spoke, we listened. Introducing the all-new VSiN Watch app. Now, you can watch and listen to VSiN expert analysis live wherever you are. Missed a show? No problem. Catch replays of VSiN's full lineup at any time. View highlights sorted by sport. Or use the search feature to find specific teams and topics you're looking for. And the best part? It's free for a limited time. Download the VSiN Watch app today. Available now on the App Store and Google Play. And join us on the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN, the sports betting network.
VSiN fans, you're in luck. Circa Las Vegas owner Derek Stevens is offering you 15% off at 3 incredible properties. Circa Las Vegas, the D Hotel, and Golden Gate. Whether you're lounging by Circa's stunning rooftop pool or enjoying all the excitement Vegas has to offer, you'll save big with promo code VSiN15. Book your 2025 stay now at circalasvegas.com and use VSiN15, that's VSiN15, to get 15% off. Your Vegas adventure starts here. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Always appreciate it. What are you laughing at?
We got a couple great tweets.
Oh, a couple great tweets. We got plenty of them.
Oh, man.
I don't know how great all of them
I
are.
really
We'll
missed
see.
these from like a half hour ago.
Let's see here. Yeah, I haven't looked at all of these. Let's see here. Rock 12. I'll start there. Sorry, Savannah. Rock 12. Can't wait for the breakdown on the classic AO tonight, Australian Open. Badosa Kostyuk. Be hard-pressed to get a match with more talent on the same court than this. I don't know. Raducanu Anisimova was pretty darn good yesterday, wasn't it? But you're right about Badosa and Kostyuk, if you know what I mean. Jaime Leyva, perhaps. I think Wembanyama heard the whistle and didn't go full effort towards the end of the play. Also, it didn't happen. Never mind that Wemby had 8 blocks that did count. What are we even talking about? Have a great day, gentlemen. I'm with you, man. Gamblelord, when looking
Just one highlight. Have some fun in life, people. Come on.
Let's see here. This is from, by the way, this Lerner Tien match, 3-3 in the final set tiebreaker. Yep. Remember, it goes to 10.
Goes to 10?
Yeah, that's how they all finish the deciding set. Goes to 10 now. Let's see. Wet Willie Cohen says, Zach and Crack Thursday while watching Lerner Tien. Thanks for making my 30 minutes on the elliptical go by fast. Mako, Sway in the morning was not on the bingo card. Murphy Jim, Gil, as a Ravens fan, I appreciate your support for my team. However, I cannot bet on the Ravens winning this game. I can't trust Harbaugh, Munkin, or Zach Orr, let alone Tucker. Seen this movie before. Love the show. Thank you. Imagine that, and I think that's true. Some people can't trust Tucker. Imagine we've gotten to that point.
It's crazy. I heard someone else say that the other day. And
Will says it a lot.
I'm like, we're living in that world.
We're living in that
world. What
world.
is going on?
And it's not wrong. Larry Fresh, can't wait to hear you on Sway tomorrow. Camiel reunion on Sirius. Brandon Kyles, Gil on Sway in the morning. Can't wait to hear you spit that hot fire. Just make sure to have Base Winter on speed dial as a backup.
You guys should do the spot together. Yeah.
Hey, I would call Base Winter, be like, hey, Mark, I'm on this show. I'm going to need you. Bert Wiedemeyer, wow, that is so dope. You're going to be on Real Sway's show, Sway's Universe Mañana. Peeps better not sleep on my man Gil's 90s hip-hop and R&B knowledge. He gets mad props. I've heard all the subtle references throughout the year on his show. And then, and Rob L. So we're parlaying Otani MVP with Iga French. Mr. B. Max Fried, AL Cy Young, sneaky, what odds? How do you skip him? That's a great point. How did I skip him? Max Fried was not on the board. Max Fried with the New York Yankees.
Hold on.
Yeah, no, you're right. I should absolutely have thought about Max Fried, but he was not even pictured. Brandon Kyles, am I getting my guest mixed up? Is it Sporer who spits bars? No, it is. You are getting your guest mixed up. It is Mark Borchard. And Stephen.
Fried 25-1.
25-1?
Yeah.
It's an interesting play. Brosec 1870. Happy New Year, guys. Is it too late? So happy about Sirius XM. Don't guests have to freestyle on Sway in the morning? Yes, if they're in the studio with Sway, they have to freestyle. I am hoping he does not ask me to freestyle on the phone.
Savannah did ask me earlier if you were going to.
Man.
I don't know.
This is now I'm getting nervous. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk some UFC so I don't have to think about that anymore. UFC 311 is upon us. Jordan Sherwood, our buddy, joins us from his lair, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. Okay, you can follow Jordan at Wood on ESPN 1000, co-host of the unnamed MMA podcast on ESPN Chicago. Jordan, how you doing, man?
Well, let's be accurate, Gil. It's actually my son Maxwell's lair that I'm in currently right now. It's not my lair, but nonetheless, yeah, happy to talk with you guys about a big-time fight card on Saturday night, UFC 311.
Wow, Maxwell's doing pretty well, by the way. Very nice.
I always pictured you as sleeping with a foam finger near your bed. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but there's Woody's behind me. He's getting hung by his neck on the door there. I don't know if you see that.
By the way, real quick before we talk UFC, you're a Chicago Bears fan. Give me 15 seconds. Caleb Williams' first year was?
I think average. I think he showed glimpses of both being great, but also making those rookie mistakes. He needs help. That's why I'll leave it. He needs help, especially up front on that offensive line.
Okay. Let's go to UFC 311. Now, first of all, first question. This is supposed to be in Inglewood. Is it staying in LA or is it moving to Vegas? What's the story?
Yeah, the latest that I've heard, it's staying in LA. You know, Dana White was kind of paying attention, obviously, to the horrific stuff that's going on in Los Angeles, but really looking at what the NBA was doing, keeping some of the games scheduled there. So by all accounts, it's still remaining in Inglewood and going on as planned for a Saturday night.
All right, let's go to the main event, lightweight. Islam Makhachev against Arman Tsarukyan. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Makhachev, his mentor is the great Nurmagomedov. I'm talking about Khabib in this case.
Yep.
And he is, some people think, actually has the tools to be better, if one can believe that. Tsarukyan, though, didn't he take him the distance the first time, like his first ever fight? So why is this line as big as it is here, minus 370 on Makhachev?
Yeah, a couple of things to that. Yes, this is a rematch. They met several years ago as Arman Tsarukyan's UFC debut. He took it on short notice and went 3 rounds with Makhachev in that fight, both showcasing outstanding grappling and wrestling. And you are right, Makhachev is the protege of Khabib Nurmagomedov. He's known in a lot of MMA circles as Khabib 2.0 because he's got the grappling acumen and better striking. He's currently listed as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the UFC rankings, and I believe that he has the talent. If he wanted to go up to a weight class at 170 and compete there, he probably could win the championship because he's that talented. And this is what I say about this fight for maybe the casual MMA fan is, you know, the meme of the Spider-Man pointing at each other?
Yes.
Like that's what this is, except that Tsarukyan is Tobey Maguire and Makhachev is what's the new guy's name? The new Spider-Man, Tom Holland. Like, he's got the better suit, he's got the better technology, he's got the better, attributes, and that's why he's such a big time favorite. Like, they're going to mirror a lot of things together, but the areas that Makhachev has an advantage are decisive, and I think it's on the feet. So I don't think that we're going to get we'll get a similar type of fight early on in the fight, but I believe that not only will Islam be and still champion, but I think there's value in him winning the fight inside the distance. So I think you might want to look for a prop via KO or a submission win for Makhachev to get that at plus money, because I do believe he is that much better than Tsarukyan and will get the finish on Saturday night.
Okay, Makhachev.
He just powered through that.
Beautiful.
What a pro.
I said girlfriend. He didn't even act like I said it. Makhachev, usually you're like, wait, it's better Spider-Man. He has this better, this better.
What about Andrew Garfield? Who's that one?
So Makhachev inside the distance plus money. It's about plus 150 right around now. So shop around for that. The co-main, bantamweight. This is interesting because Merab Dvalishvili is the champion, and he's the big dog here because nobody wants to fight Khabib's cousin Umar. Nurmagomedov, pardon me, I have trouble pronouncing that. And Umar is the massive favorite. Nobody wants to fight Umar, but Dvalishvili's like, all right, well, I guess I got to. Probably not the guy he wants to fight.
Yeah, look, I mean, no one wants to fight Umar. Obviously, he's undefeated. He showcased how good he is in his last fight against Corey Sandhagen. But I think these lines are off. I think Merab's being disrespected. Not a lot of people do like him. He's not a popular fighter. In a lot of people's opinions, Merab would have been champion earlier on in his career, but his buddy, Aljamain Sterling, was the champion at bantamweight, so he didn't fight for the title. He just beat a bunch of former champions and #1 contenders. His pressure, his takedowns are relentless. He has set UFC records for amount of takedown attempts in a fight and takedowns successfully made in a lot of his fights. And Umar Nurmagomedov is not the grappler like his last name says. He's more of a kickboxer. He's going to throw out, feint kicks. And I think that's where Merab is going to be able to take advantage and maybe get some takedowns. He took the title away from a better striker in Sean O'Malley in his last fight. So for this fight, Merab's pace is relentless. His takedowns are relentless. I'm going to have a small play on Merab, especially at those plus odds. That plus money, I think, is out of whack. I'm not going to be surprised if Umar gets his hand raised. I mean, again, he's undefeated for a reason, but the odds as they currently are right now are not right. So I like Merab, small little play on that for him to be and still champion come Saturday night.
All right, fading Umar there, a little bit of a fade with a half a unit there. And then the last fight before the co-main, Yuri Prochazka and Jamal Hill. You have a couple bets on Hill here.
Yeah, I just think that Hill's a bad matchup for Yuri Prochazka. Don't know where he's at right now. He's talked about moving down to middleweight. His defense is always leaky, kind of leans with his head. Gil, I've talked about that with you before. It's not a way to go into an MMA fight. And Hill is a patient fighter. He's cerebral. He's got great boxing. And, you know, at times has come up big in the moment. I know he got knocked out by Alex Pereira. Actually, both these guys, the last time they were in the octagon, did so. But I think Jamahal Hill not only wins the fight, but he knocks out Yuri Prochazka probably in the first or second round. So there's plus money on that prop, plus for him at the money line. It's just a bad matchup stylistically for Yuri Prochazka. I don't like him to win the fight.
Jordan, thank you so much. Appreciate it, man.
All right, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Jordan Sherwood. Crack on the other side, right here on A Numbers Game.
And we're out.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I need to load funds into my gaming apps.
Stormy, really, with